Hi everyone, this is Nadia, award-winning author, award-winning mentor, CLAIRSENTIENT psychic, and founder at Spartanite. And today we're going to be covering how to use alchemy to be able to transform your life. Now, there's lots of buzz when it comes to learning about the old occult sciences and what alchemy is and where it came from. And most importantly, with anything else in the world, how we can really transform it to have a great life for ourselves. So first things first, I like to keep my videos super simple, and I want even someone who's 12 to understand what I'm saying. So alchemy essentially comes from the Arabic word alchemia. It also has roots, I believe, in 3 other parts of the world that I wanted to discuss before we get on to the meat and potatoes of everything. So as I said, it comes from the Arabic word alchemia, and al comes from the first letter of Arabic, which is in the English letter A, Aleph, basically. So in Greek, I believe that there is alchemesos, which is the reducing of metals to burn into alloy. There is also alchemat, which would represent ancient Egypt or the Black Land, so to speak, because it is in North Africa. And there was also another word in Hebrew that I forget, which literally for alchemy would mean divine science. Now, it comes as no secret that there were many medieval philosophers and many people who actually chose to take maybe base or lower metals such as mercury, tin, those type of things, and they wanted to convert it into higher metals such as gold and silver. Now, I remember seeing a documentary of a guy in India who had a lot of other guys around him. He was really nothing special, but he was so intelligent and so innovative in what he did. He was very much, he had the hustler mentality, which I'll cover up probably in some other video, but he just didn't give up. He didn't take no for an answer. He worked his way out of poverty, and I don't even know how they managed to get the sludge. So basically what they did was, I don't know the whole process, but I remember that there was mining somewhere near in some town, and when the men finished their work and they would shower every night, there were specks of gold dust that would actually be stuck to them. So they'd obviously shower basically, and they'd be going in the drains. And this guy was out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning with other guys, and they'd be jumping into these drains, which it's nasty considering Western standards. But somebody sees the endeavor and the effort, and I really ended up tearing up watching it, because I had so much respect for that guy, because he wasn't willing to steal or to beg. He found a very creative way to bring in quick money. So what they did was they got this sludge, and then he would go to another guy, and that man actually had a factory and other guys who worked for him, and they'd refine that sludge out basically, and through some alchemical way they would actually find a tiny little coin actually, and they would go and sell that coin at the goldsmith. They actually converted that sludge into gold. It was pure gold. They checked it at the goldsmith, and this guy would get £800, which is probably just coming up to $1,000, or maybe slightly more than that. And he was able to afford a better place for himself. He was able to work his way out of the slums, and it was just so incredible, and I was so inspired to watch it that I wanted to actually cover a video on it. Now, the video is not to do with him per se, but it's more to do with alchemy. Now, as an award-winning mentor for me, alchemy starts in the mind. It's not particularly about the body or anything like that. I think if one has control over their mind, you can control anything else in your life. Now, for me, alchemy would be transforming the way you think, which is, if somebody wants to really transform their life, it has to be transforming the way they think. Even if somebody wants to tone up, have a better body, whatever it is, all the decisions start here. They start in the mind. So how does someone like yourself, or how does someone like me, or modern people in this world, how do we take the principles of alchemy and really transform them into something that gives us this momentum, and that we can move forward? So the fact is that if we look at metals such as, like I said, tin, tungsten, mercury, iron, they're very much lesser metals, I guess. So it kind of reminds me of iron, that the spring in a watch is made of iron. The watch can cost so much, and then if it's a normal horseshoe, it's very little. So it's all about the context of how you really choose to use the base metal. Now, alchemy can be in reference to your thoughts. As I've said, alchemy can be in money. Now, if somebody has, say for instance, I have a £10 note in my hand, whatever currency or country you're in, you can, euros, pounds, dollars, rand, whatever, whatever you want to use, basically. Now, you can either go waste that on something that won't give you value back, or you can put it towards an investment where you either see a return on knowledge, a return on money, a return on elevating yourselves forward. And that's what most people struggle with when it comes to alchemy. So alchemy is just essentially transforming something lesser into something more, which is what I usually say mentorship often does, and I often call mentorship mental alchemy. It's really just transforming the way you think. Now, it comes as no surprise that most people live very much like a sheep. They follow the herd. It's if one person has done something, the rest of 50 million people want to do it as well because they don't have original thought. So alchemy essentially is really looking at the Aquarius nation, whether you have the sign, the zodiac sign of Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius sun. Whether you have it in your chart or not, I always take inspiration from Aquarius. The internet is ruled by Aquarius as well, which is why it is a forward-thinking technology. Not always the best, because right now we are in Kali Yuga, which is the fourth age of Yuga, and it's like you're seeing the low sides of Aquarius, which can be, there are lots of things. Some of them can sound quite offensive on camera, and yeah, I probably won't be covering them, but the point is that there are a lot of low traits of Aquarius energy that we are now seeing in the world, with the change that people are seeing in the world. Aquarius comes after Capricorn, which Capricorn is all about order. Saturnian energy is all about order, structure, tradition, and Aquarius is like, no, basically. Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn and also ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is just a weird planet. I should know I'm an Aquarius, and sometimes I just come out with really random and weird stuff. And if you don't have Aquarius in your chart, you're probably just going to be side-eyeing Aquarian people like, okay, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you say that? But I guess it's just the way. If somebody has an Aquarius rising, moon, sun, if Mars, Venus, if it's anywhere in your chart, you will have a certain level of flair and eccentricity that is very unique and special to you. So when we look at the Aquarius nation of alchemy, it's essentially just switching around your thoughts. Now, I mean, I think Einstein had this saying, and anybody can feel free in the comment section to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not here to be like the guru and be right for everybody. I'm just here to share my knowledge and educate and empower and embolden others as well. More than anything, I still remember reading somewhere that if you judge, I think, a fish on its ability to climb a tree or something like that, it's a very old saying, but it's very relevant to what I want to say. Now, alchemy can be done in very many different ways. You don't particularly just have to be like in a science lab and trying to create one chemical from another. We live in two worlds. We live in the chemical world, which is this world, this tangible, real, I can touch my hair, touch my shoulders world. And we live in the alchemical world. Alif, going back to the first letter of Arabic, alif meaning A. It is something that is, you start with that, but it's alchemical, meaning it's not seen. I usually study ilm al-ghaib. Ilm is knowledge in Arabic, and ghaib means forbidden or unseen. Now, when we combine that letter of alif in Arabic, there are letters that speak to you, and this is deeper, far occult knowledge and science. But when we really tie everything together, it's about how can we combine what knowledge we receive from the spiritual or the unseen world and bring it into this world and make sure it actually works in this world, and it's not just theoretical fluff that's annoying for people, so to speak. Now, being able to really push yourself forward is hard in a world that just wants to compress you down, and that the magic of alchemy is amazing because it can take someone from being average to amazing into superstar, and it's not particularly anything special that you've done. It's a mentality, it's strategic thinking, It's how does one put their step forward. Now, I work with the Goetic spirit CLAUNECK, for most of you that know it, and that's how a lot of people find Spartanite as well. And CLAUNECK and the other Goetic beings, especially King Asmodeus and President Malphas, are very, very big on this. And they usually talk about something called the chessboard. Yeah, I mean this literally, like imagine like a chessboard in front of you. And the Goetic beings traditionally see this world as a huge chessboard. Sometimes funny and having laughs at expenses of humans, which is not very nice, but yeah, I can imagine why they do that as gods. It didn't surprise me. So when we have to play a game of chess and we have an opponent, and alchemy usually comes into that, and I'm tying it into the modern world. When you are in a relationship, when you want to advance in life, when you have a business, when you want, I guess, to move up the career ladder, you have to be strategic in what it is you really want. Most people don't achieve their goals in life, so hence that the title of this video, which is obviously that transformation I speak of, doesn't really happen, because transformation means that one has to move from a state of A to B, and yeah, there's going to be pain, there's going to be chaos, it's going to hurt, you're going to cry, you're going to scream, you're going to feel afraid. That is transformation. Now, I always look at alchemy as a very Plutonian type of movement. Now, the planet Pluto, which traditionally rules Scorpio, so everybody that has Scorpio in their chart, I have it in my 7th house, so I know this very well. It's very deep and it's very cathartic. It goes like layers deep. It kind of reminds me of like going to like the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. It's not shallow. Anybody that has Scorpio in their chart at any place, whether it's in your houses or your placements, is quite a deep person. They're not shallow. They're not looking for materialistic, just oh hi, I look pretty and the man's handsome and he's rich, and it's just boring. Shallow stuff is very boring. If you want to transform, the transformation always comes from activating the Kundalini, and also comes from Gnostic knowledge. It comes from looking within yourself. Most people are not willing to look within themselves because they're afraid of what they will actually find if they look within themselves. What actually happens, what do we have to face, and that's essentially doing that shadow work. Essentially, I work with it a lot on my elite mentoring clients, and really work with shadow work. What is the part of you that you don't want to face, and why don't you want to face it? Because when you come to understand whatever it is you don't want to face, then you are able to grow. Now, contrary to popular belief, mentoring for me, I don't know how people mentor because they're not me and I'm not them. Mentoring for me is very much about having someone being accountable towards themselves, not towards me. Sure, they'll hire me, but I'm more just like, yep, just share your good news, share whatever you're doing, share whatever it is, and I'll just keep pushing you forward. Alchemy, essentially, what's going to happen is that you're going to hit a level when you are elevating in whatever you want to do. And there's going to be a point where you feel triggered, where you feel resistant and think, you know what, no, I don't want to deal with this, it's too much. That's actually where the gold is, and that's what I want to talk about. Like the alchemies is purging those heavy emotions, purging those old stuck wasteful mentalities, and really being able to hit the gold. So what is it in modern society being able to really hit and strike that gold? Well, striking that gold is when you can actually turn that trash into cash. I don't just mean this from a financial perspective. I mean it from a place of what emotions, what trauma, what stuff have you gone through that you can use for the betterment of humanity? What have you gone through? What have you seen in life? What experience do you have that you feel that maybe you can profit from as well, or you can be of assistance to others? I think the best way, for me personally, when I think of alchemy and money, the best way to generate money, to receive money, to make money is by being of service to other people, because that is true fulfillment. There are so many people I know who have very, very successful businesses. Now, we live in the age of Aquarius. The internet is ruled by the Aquarius, as I've said. and they've made tons of money online. They could be like doing drop shipping, or like Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, or FBA sellers. They could be trading. They could be doing all the stuff that traditionally just looks at the financial perspective of things. However, what I come to find it is, yeah, they've covered the financial perspective, but there is still no identity. Like, yeah, they're just another successful person who's made money, but where is their identity? Who are they? What do they stand for? What do they really want? So, in the bid to find that financial success, find that professional success, find that life success, where you know that you're good on a many tangent, what identity, what legacy do you want to leave? Because for me, that is true alchemy inside. Alchemy for me is when we start out as a very introverted, like looking down at the mirror perspective. This is me. I only want to look at myself. I only care about myself. To turning the mirror outwards and saying, this is how much I am willing to give others. I'm also willing to balance it with self-care so I can love myself and really pour from a filled cup that has plenty of wine and water to go around and share. This doesn't mean you give the shirt off your back and then complain that everybody bleeds you dry. You probably need better boundaries if that's happening. Alchemy for me is truly transforming the thoughts from just self-centered or the self to doing it from a place of self-actualization, self-liberation, self-empowerment, to be in service to other people whom you can help. So I implore everybody, when we think of how alchemy can transform your life, or rather even transfer your life, I guess that's what the spirits wanted me to say, transform and transfer. Think of what you've gone through so far, think of who you are, and think of the greatness that you, especially you, only you, I'm not talking about myself, I'm not talking about your friends, your family, just you, yourself, in who you are, can add to this world, because I guarantee you that there's something very unique and special about you that only you can bring to this world. And alchemy, which is really dealing with the emotions and bringing them to the light so that you're able to be of service to others whilst also making a profit for yourself, so you're in alignment with being selfish and selfless, because both are necessary, is then completed. So I hope that makes sense, and you don't have to go and create, tin or lead or mercury. If you fancy, you can do that into gold, but and that's done. I've known people who have actually done it. So yeah, alchemy is a real thing. But for me, alchemy is really purging the lower thoughts into going into a higher perspective and consciousness, so that you can be at service for humanity, should you choose to accept your divine mission calling. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, I would love to hear them in the comment box chat below. Thank you. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.